along with the naval band, and a very big reception being held by Pakistan Navy. Now there's a lot of excitement over here. What we see at the dockyard, not even the Navy officials are excited, but we also know that Captain Wasi's daughter Leila, who is also here at the dockyard, is very excited. Other family members are still waiting at the Governor House that once these captives are taken back to the Governor House, they can meet their loved ones. Now, there are 22 captives who are coming in, which also includes 4 Pakistanis and 6 Indians. Now, we have seen a strong reaction coming in from their family members on how the Indian government didn't support these sailors while they were in trouble. But we see that a lot of excitement suddenly coming in. We have seen Navy being under a lot of stress and embarrassment after the attacks on Navy, but this is something that Navy would definitely consider as an achievement. Umeed-e-Nau was the operation name that was conducted to save not only the MV Suez from the Somalian pirates when it was attacked again, but also to bring back the 4 Pakistanis home safely. And definitely, once this PNS Zulfikar docks makes way to the berth of the dockyard, the Umeed-e-Nau operation of Pakistan Navy will come to its conclusion, and finally, not only an operation would be successful, but 4 Pakistanis will reach the soil of Pakistan.
And how long will it take before the ship actually docks at the harbour?
Well, it is a matter of few minutes, hardly 15 minutes, that the ship arrives at the dockyard, and once it docks at the berth of the dockyard, then the Governor Sindh and Ansar Bani, along with other naval officials, will go up the PNS Zulfikar and greet not only the 4 Pakistanis but also the 11 Egyptians, the 6 Indians, and 1 Sri Lankan who is on the board and who were amongst the captives who on MV Suez. Now, what we know is that the naval band is over here awaiting once they arrive, and once they walk through the stairs down to the ground, there would be a whole reception held by the Pakistan Navy. This is a small reception being held by Pakistan Navy at the dockyard. There is a big reception being awaiting these captives at the Governor House. There's a proper preparation made at the Governor House, what we know, and along with the family members of the other 4 Pakistani captives are desperately awaiting their arrival at the Governor House so they could finally meet their loved ones after almost 10 months of their captivity with the Somalian pirates.
And could you give us any further details regarding security arrangements at the Karachi dockyard for this momentous occasion?
Well, what we see is that the naval helicopters are hovering over the PNS Zulfikar and dockyard. There are strict security measures that have been in place at the dockyard. Also, that we see that there is a lot of police support given not only outside dockyard but along the road towards Governor House. Special security arrangements have been made to support and to make a freeway so these captives could reach Governor House more smoothly, and along with that we also know that a big media team is being taken with the Governor Sindh in his own private protocol. So a lot of security arrangements have been made already, as it was decided that the MV Suez it was decided that PNS Zulfikar will be docking today. It was at 3 o'clock what was the expected time, but there has been some certain delays, and that's the reason we see that it will take at least till 5 o'clock that the ship docks and makes berth at the dockyard.
And what were the reasons for the delay that took place in the arrival of the ship?
Well, bad weather has been one of the major reasons why this ship has been in such a delay. But what we know is that initially the ship was delayed not only due to bad weather, but also that MV Suez captives from MV Suez was being rescued when they were attacked for the second time by the Somalian pirates after being freed by paying a ransom of $2.1 million on the 14th. Now, what we know is that Umeed-e-Nau's operation of Pakistan Navy started on the 16th of June, and it was an operation that was divided into 2 main parts. One in which PNS Babar was taking part, and the second one was in which PNS Zulfikar did take part. And finally, the operation would conclude once it takes berth at the dockyard in Karachi.
Right, and also tell us a bit about the ship MV Suez. We did find out that the ship eventually sunk. Could you give us a brief sort of background on how that actually happened? How did the ship sink?
Well, on the 2nd of May, on the 2nd of August 2010, in the early hours, it was hijacked by Somalian pirates, and since then it was taken under their captivity. Now, the ship was carrying cement bags, which definitely had to be somehow treated or taken care of. But we have seen that over 10 months the ship was left idle, and due to that, what we see that when MV Suez was moving towards its nearest port, the cement had actually turned into blocks, and that is the reason that the weight the ship wasn't able to
Emma Jung, are you there on the line with us?
Yes.
All right, so we were talking about the reasons behind the sinking of the MV Suez and then the rescue that subsequently took place. We also know that earlier, before PNS Zulfikar was involved in this, PNS Babar was also a part of the rescue team. Could you give us a bit of information regarding that? And then also, there was the episode regarding a bit of some kind of an altercation with the Indian ship. Could you give us the background on that story as well?
Well, what we have seen that there has been a very negative way of as far as the Indians are concerned, as far as their cooperation in paying not only the ransom money but also in carrying out the rescue operation that Pakistan Navy initially initiated. What we know is that initially the $2.1 million ransom was decided that the $1 million would be paid by the Egyptian company, whereas $0.6 million will be paid by Pakistan and $0.5 million will be paid by Indians. But what we know that the Indians backed out of that deal on the very last moment. That is the reason we see such a delays taking place. And the second phase of problems that Pakistan faced with the Indians was when the MV Suez was attacked once again by the Somalian pirates. Then Pakistan Navy had no option but to launch their Umeed-e-Nau operation, in which PNS Babar took part and fired warning shots on the second Somalian pirate ship that was trying to hijack MV Suez once again once the ransom money was paid. That is the point when we see the Indian warship intercepting and creating difficulties not only for the Pakistan Navy to carry out a smooth rescue operations, but also a very insulting position for the Indians that their arrival comes in only at the time when the ransom money has been paid by Pakistan and the Egyptians, and the Indian had to back out. So that was the situation that PNS Babar had to face to rescue the captives from the Somalian pirates' second attack that was launched on MV Suez.